we're going to hope that he can do a little bit of talking for us here. What do you think, Danny? Are you going to say something? Such a handsome boy today. Yeah. You got a bell. You got some shells there to play with. You got a mirror and a swing. Whoa. You're showing off, aren't you? You're showing everybody your toys. We got Danny on August 20, or sorry, in July 28th of 2017. It's now January of 2018, so he was only about 6 or 8 weeks old when we got him. So now he's probably about 6 months old. He started talking when he was within about 3 weeks after we got him, and I've been recording him ever since. This is the first time I've used a good quality microphone, and normally I just record them using the recorder, but I just bought a new camera with a good quality microphone on it, and I'm hoping that he'll talk for us today. You're gonna have to bear with me a little bit. This is the first time I've used this camera as well, so I'm not sure if I can get some of that background noise out of there. Or my son knows a little bit more about cameras than I do, so when he comes down, I'll have him see if we can get some of that hissing sound out of the background out. Sure is showing off with his toys, with his swing and that, aren't you, Danny? Danny's probably one of the most playful budgies I've ever had. He loves people. He'll spend an hour with you, sitting on your shoulder or fooling around with you. He's also very gentle. He never bites hard. He always makes sure when he's playing with you that his little nips don't hurt. I've got another microphone there that I was trying to use before. I'll take that down now because I've got one on the camera. Here. You don't need that there anymore, Danny? Danny's the third budgie that I've had that pretty well has an unlimited vocabulary. First started with Victor back in 2001. I started a website for him because he started talking at about the same age as Danny, and back then the quality of or the audio programs were only just becoming digital audio programs were only becoming available on the internet, and I started recording him using a tape recorder, and I knew he was saying a lot of things that I hadn't taught him or that he couldn't have just picked up on his own. So I began recording him, and with a tape recorder it would take me days just to go through a 1 minute recording, because I'd have to go back and forward with the tape. And finally they came out with a digital audio software, and I started using that, and I found it a lot easier to translate what he was saying, and I started putting captions to it and to what he was saying, and put it up on the internet. And before I knew it, people started coming. I was called by Coast to Coast Radio Network, and George Norrie wanted to do an interview with me, and so I did an interview talking about Victor, and within about 2 days I had almost 1 million views on my website, and other budgie guardians began sending me recordings of their budgies talking, and their budgies were talking in similar fashion to what Victor was. And I also started noticing that Victor was talking about God and spirituality and heaven and spiritual things. But it always seemed that his recordings were were quite difficult at times to understand, because he talked so fast, and his accent was very difficult. It would take a lot of time to learn how to understand it. But over the years and with practice, my ability got better in translating what he was saying. Unfortunately, Victor died at an early age. He was about 3 years old when he died. But he left me with a lot of videos and recordings of him, and I continued on with them over the next 10 years or so. In 2009, I was again blessed with another budgie named Mailer, who was actually a rescued budgie by a neighbor, and the neighbor asked me if I wanted to keep him because she couldn't keep him, and I said sure. She said that he didn't talk that much, but he said a few words. The next day, I set his cage up by my computer and played a few recordings of Victor to him. And that same day, he started talking very similar to what Victor was, and I've got lots of recordings of Mailer as well. Danny's actually the fourth budgie in all. I had one even before Victor that I didn't record at all, but was an amazing talker. So Danny's the fourth one, and his vocabulary is unlimited, and the thing about Danny is he speaks slowly. He's very softly spoken, but he speaks slowly, and you have to really listen and get a good microphone to catch what he's saying. So I'm hoping that's what we can do with this microphone, if we can get him talking today. Maybe he's given me a chance to do a little bit of an introduction here, and then he'll continue on, because some of the things that he says are beyond belief, and he definitely has a connection to the spiritual world. He talks about the angels all the time and how he communicates with them, and says some of the most incredible things I've ever heard, and truly a miracle in itself. So I'm going to stop the video for now until Danny gets ready to talk, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is January 12th at 1:45 in the afternoon. The first recording that I did of Danny didn't turn out so well because the audio wasn't very good. So I'm going to give it another try. Danny's starting to talk already. Still talking? Okay, Danny, I know you could probably go on for another half hour or so, or